Hello guys, the Fire Brothers here. It's just me. So some of you wanted to see my Transformers toy collection, so I'm finally making that video. But I want to say that I'm only gonna show half my collection. I'm gonna start with the Autobots, and if you guys like this video and we can reach, I don't know, let's say 500 likes in 24 hours, then I will definitely upload part 2. So part 1 we're gonna go over the Autobots, and also I'm gonna do a Q&A soon, so feel free to ask me some questions down below, and I might feature you in the next video. Alright, so first of my collection we got the IDW Roadbuster, and oh my god, does it look cool. I found him in a Walmart, and I was like, this guy has so many weapons, it reminds me of Ironhide, maybe I should take him. And he didn't disappoint. I haven't watched the IDW comics, but I don't know his, stickers, the Autobot insignias that he has on the chest. Those are stickers. I don't know if you guys can tell. I don't know if they're in the right place, to be fair. But overall, I really like this figure. The legs are a bit stiff. You cannot, do some poses with him. But he's still a pretty good figure. And I really, again, I like all his weapons. His color scheme just works. I like this Roadbuster much better than the one in the movie. Next we got Hybron. He's one of the most recent additions to my collection. I found him in a 99-cent store, so he was kinda cheap. And he's the first Headmaster toy I bought. I didn't buy a lot of Talent Return toys, mostly because during the point when the Talent Return line got released, I was starting to, not buy so many Transformers toys. I was like, spending more on YouTube and stuff. But now that I'm getting more YouTube money, maybe I can spend that on some TF toys. Again, Hybrid just looks amazing, and he's a Headmaster, so his head comes off, and you got this little guy. I don't know the name. I'm sorry. I know it's like something dumb. It's like really short. His name's not very important. But the Headmaster figures are pretty good. You can pose them quite decently. They're supposed to be human sized, and it's a nice addition. So yeah, I do like Hybrid. Alright, and next we have the Transformers Prime RC. Now again, I found her in a 99-cent store, and that was years after Transformers Prime came out, so I was kinda lucky. Yeah, it's a pretty decent figure. I know, the lighting is not that great, sorry, I don't have the best camera in the world. But yeah, she's a pretty decent figure. She's not that small, she comes with a few weapons, and her gun. It reminds me of G1's Megatron. He had that giant gun. To see someone so small having such a huge gun, it's kinda weird. That's the only thing I don't really like about her, the gun. But other than that, she's a pretty solid figure. You can also get some pretty decent poses with her, so yeah, I do recommend her. Alright, next we have the Robots in Disguise Drift. I didn't have any Drift figures, so I just decided to get him because, I guess he looked cool, and in the show, Drift is okay. He's not the greatest, but I thought he was alright. He comes with those 2 swords, and you can store them on his samurai belt. I think that's how it's called. You can get some decent poses with him. Not the best ones, but still, he's a pretty decent figure. Pretty good. And next we got the Age of Extinction Bumblebee. Okay, so the only reason why I got this Bumblebee is because I had no Bumblebee figure. Yes, shocking, I know. He's pretty much everywhere, and I had no Bumblebee figures. This one came along with Strafe and a smaller version of Bumblebee, and the color scheme is not that good. Like, I don't know if you guys can notice it because of the picture, but his hands have a different yellow, his weapon has a different yellow, his backpack has a different yellow. It's kind of a mess. So that's why I want to get the Last Night Bumblebee that's coming out. The mask is a nice detail. The weapon's pretty cool, even though it's not the same color. He comes with his signature hand cannon from the movies. As flawed as this toy is, it has some good features, so I cannot really be that mad at it. Next we got Hound, and this figure, the first time I saw it, I was like, I have to have this. His car mode looks amazing, and when he transforms, he comes with 8 weapons, 2 shotguns, 1 knife, 1 machine gun, 2 smaller weapons, and 2 other smaller weapons that he keeps on his legs. His color is not movie accurate, but I don't really care. He looks cool. I did broke his arm, but I managed to glue it back together. Yes, I know. It works perfectly though. Like, I can barely notice this broke. The beard and the helmet are different The beard looks cool. The helmet kinda kills it because, you know, it doesn't match the rest of his body, but you know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really bother me that much. It doesn't bother me at all, really. I'm so in love with his weapons. The amount of detail this guy has, it just makes me wanna... he's one of the figures that I just like about my collection the most. Next we got Crosshairs. So the first time I saw Crosshairs, I was like, he looks alright, but for the sake of having Age of Extinction toys, I bought him. And he's a backformer, as you guys can see. It doesn't really bother me that much. I really like the amount of details they gave him, and the trench coat that he has, the simulated trench coat that he has on his chest. It's a really nice addition to the figure, and it makes him rather unique. So that's why I kinda like this figure, even though it has a lot of flaws. You can get him to pose in many different ways. The only thing I don't like is that since he's a backformer, he's not very stable, and again, he suffers that the legs cannot really hold the figure that well. But most of the time they do their job pretty well. So this is a pretty decent figure. If you see it, I recommend buying it. And now we got Sideswipe, everyone's favorite autobot. Not mine though. I'm just kidding. I like Sideswipe. I'm gonna say that he's not that good. I know, looking at the picture, you guys are probably saying, dude, he looks cool. Okay, he has some good detail. I like what they did with the arm blades. And the only thing I don't like is the legs. In the movie, sure, Sideswipe having those, you know, wheel legs, it works. But in toy form, it doesn't work. It's really hard to get him to stand up. And this pose right now, it took me so long just to get him in that pose. The weapon is really good. I really like the weapon. And you can put the arm blades back, so that's a nice feature. The only thing I don't like is the legs. Like, the legs just kills it. Also, he's chicken leg, like Starscream, and chicken legs don't work. Honestly, I just hope that we don't see chicken legs for the Bumblebee movie in any Decepticon or Autobot. Okay, so next we got the Minicons. Now this is gonna sound awkward, but I don't really know their names. So yeah, I found them in a Toys R Us. Yes, I know, I went there. And they also came with a comic for the Dark Cybertron IDW comics, and it's one of the few IDW comics I actually own. And when you transform them, they're actually pretty decent. For the tank, I did lose his leg, his back leg. I know you cannot see it, but I kind of lost it. And he's alright. You know, pretty nice transformation. The jet guy, I gotta admit, he probably looks the best. He's the tallest. He has some nice features. And then you got the helicopter girl. I think it's a girl. I don't know, because he has that female-ish kind of look. I could be totally wrong though. And when their powers combine, they form this thing. Okay, this is actually one of my favorites. I just love combiners. The fact that, you know, those three little Minicons came together to form this average size Transformers, it's kind of funny, and I really like it. I like how the weapons combine to form this just huge OP gun. And he's also like deluxe size. Like, he's the same size as the Age of Extinction movie. If not a little shorter, but only a little. But for the most part, he's a pretty decent figure. I do like him. Next, we got the Beast Hunter's Wheeljack. And oh boy, if you own this figure, I think you know the problem already. Okay, so first, I want to say I lost his launcher. The red thing that he has on the top. It comes with a capture thing to capture Predacons. I kinda lost that thing. I have no idea where it is. That doesn't stop me from admiring this figure. Now, pretty decent figure. It's basically Transformers Prime Wheeljack with a few changes. Now, if you own this figure, you know the problem. His right arm in every figure in Diamondbolt's video, my toy, and on many reviewers' toys. The arm has this annoying tendency to just fall off. Yes, during my filming of this, his arm, it just fell, disconnected so many times. I'm gonna have to glue that thing. Actually, why haven't I glued it yet? Wow, I can glue. I have like the strongest glue in the world, but I haven't glued this guy yet. Why haven't I done that? I need to take notes. You can get some decent poses with him, and I like the staff. slash spear thing that he has. Even though I lost the capture thing, I still think it's a really cool figure and definitely worth your time. But only buy it if you have glue to connect the arm. Next we got the Dark of the Moon top spin. So yeah, I recently made a video about top spin, and I don't know if they're gonna release another top spin toy with Leadfoot's head. They might do it, but this is the armored version, so that's why it looks different. You can actually pose him quite well. Like the amount of poses you can get him in, it's quite surprising. And he also comes with his mech-tech weapon, which I really like the Dark of the Moon line because of the mech-tech weapons. I think it was a really nice feature that should return. I think some people didn't like the mech-tech because you need to hold the button and it didn't, you know, stay into the transform weapon. I know only some figures stayed into the transform weapon, but I think that this feature can be easily, you know, fixed and probably improved upon, and I really do hope Hasbro makes more figures like this. Next we got the Fall Cybertron Grimlock. So if you have this toy, I think you can already figure out that this toy also comes with another bigger toy. Yes, my parents got it for Christmas. This Grimlock toy came with the BRUTICUS toy, and it's sitting on my shelf right now. This is one of my favorite figures, like honestly. You can, yeah, that's my arm. It's a pretty manly arm, you know. Oh, I should name this man hand reveal. Okay, so you can simulate the fire breathing by pressing a button on his back. His mouth opens up and he has this light up feature, and it's incredibly good, and I wish more figures will have this kind of feature. When you transform him, he's alright. I mean, the legs, the chest, the arms are the only thing that bothers me because they're kind of just stuck in that position and you cannot really do much. But he does come with his Follow Cybertron sword and his shield, which is actually pretty small. I wish it would be, like, you know, bigger, but hey, it's still a pretty decent figure. Next we got Drift. Another Drift! I know, I usually tend not to get repeats, but my parents bought me Drift for Christmas, so I'm stuck with him. But he's still a pretty good figure, and I gotta admit, I had the Skyhammer Dark of the Moon toy, and this is basically the Skyhammer Dark of the Moon toy, but with different colors and a different head sculpt. But I gotta admit, I actually kinda like this figure, even better than the Skyhammer toy. I don't know, there's something about it, and I like the head. I know some people get creeped out by the head, but I don't know, it just fits so well. And this is not really movie accurate, but I like it. I think I like it more because of the swords. The swords are just so detailed, and the head too. But yeah, I do really recommend this figure. It's actually quite fun, and it's a challenge to transform. And I like Transformers that are challenging to transform. I don't like the new Transformers because they're too easy to transform. I like the, you know, tougher ones to transform. Next we got the Revenge of the Fallen Fire Trap. Okay, so funny story. I used to collect a lot of these smaller Transformers, like the Human Alliance Dark of the Moon toys or the Hunt for the Decepticon toys. And while growing up, I kind of got rid of some of them because I didn't thought they were that much fun to play with. And somehow I forgot to get rid of this guy, so he survived because I forgot about him. So I'm gonna keep him in my collection because I think he's still a pretty good figure, even though he's really small in comparison to the Age of Extinction Bumblebee. You can get him into some nice poses. He reminds me a lot of Ironhide. He has a decent vehicle mode. Even though he's quite small, I think he's a decent figure. You probably won't find him anywhere else, but I'm gonna keep him in my collection just because it reminds me of old times. Next we got the Ultra Magnus from Transformers Prime. I think this is the Voyager class. I really have no idea. I found him in the randomest store ever. I was with my mom in a clothing store, and I just happened to find some Transformers toys in the shelf. I was like, this is a clothing store, and they have Transformers stuff. Okay. Yeah, I got lucky because I have no Ultra Magnus, but now I have an Ultra Magnus, and this guy is actually pretty good. He's a pretty decent figure. He's deluxe class size, has some nice features, and you can turn his gun into a hammer. I mean, that's so cool. That's the kind of mech tech stuff I want to see come back. It also lights up, but the batteries have died, so you're not gonna see it light up. But this is one of my favorite figures, just because it looks good. The vehicle mode looks a bit off, but the robot mode looks amazing. And also, just because it's really solid, it doesn't have any problems with it. It's one of my favorite figures overall. Okay, now we're back to Age of Extinction. We got Slug. Yeah, I found him in Toys R Us again. I only have 3 Dinobots. I'm hoping to find more soon. Yeah, he's a pretty decent figure. Again, he's bumblebee size. I like the weapons that he has. You can get some decent pulses with him. His hands are a bit tricky though. Like his shoulders, you cannot really move them that much. His hands, you cannot really move them that much. But that doesn't stop me from enjoying this figure. Besides, we all know, we all buy the Dinobots for the Dinobot mode. We didn't really buy it for the robot mode. Heck, Michael Bay knew this, and we never saw GRIMLOCK use the robot mode in the last night. Next we got Strafe, and this is one of my favorite figures. He's just so elegant. He's so pleasing to look at. His robot mode looks like a cape. His robot mode looks awesome. The 2, dinosaur heads being his shoulders, and it looks like he has a cape and that crossbow weapon. I'm just in love with this figure. I just like it so much. I cannot really explain it. I cannot recommend this figure enough. Next we have the IDW Rhinox. I don't really know because I got this one for Christmas. Again, my parents gave it to me. And he's a Maximal. If you have watched Beast Wars, he's one of my favorite characters. He has his machine turret, machine guns, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty good. This is actually a pretty solid figure, even though it doesn't look like it. This is actually a pretty solid figure. You can get some nice poses with him. He's pretty solid. He doesn't fall off, and he's Voyager class size. So he's overall one of my favorite figures. I was thinking I was gonna hate this guy, but somehow I ended up liking him. So that's why he has a place on my collection. And next we got Age of Extinction, GRIMLOCK. Yes, 2 GRIMLOCKs. Again, I don't like getting repeats, but I needed to get the Follow Savage on GRIMLOCK to get BRUTICUS. A lot of people, when this toy got revealed, were complaining about the chrome, saying that, oh, the chrome sucks, get rid of it. And honestly, I think the chrome makes this figure amazing. You can see with the light, it just makes him shine like the shining knight, like, an armor, a knight in shining armor. I don't know, it kinda makes him look so good. I like the shield and the big mace that he has there. Overall, I like the chrome. I was expecting to hate the chrome, but I ended up liking it. And I kinda wanna see more figures use chrome. Probably some of you don't like the chrome, and that's understandable. Heck, some of the new GRIMLOCK figures got rid of the chrome. But honestly, I kinda grew to like it, surprisingly. Okay, next we got Windblade. Okay, so I need to say something. I really like Windblade. She's one of my favorite female Autobots. She transforms into a jet, she has a samurai, she has an energon sword. She's overall a good character, and she's my strongest character in Transformers Forged to Fight. So yeah, Windblade is one of those characters that I like, but almost nobody else likes. She was created by the fans, so that makes her special. And she also came with an IDW comic book, and I still have it. And in the IDW comics, I heard she's not that very well portrayed. I heard she's one of the worst characters there. But that's IDW, Windblade. In Robots in Disguise Windblade, I think she's pretty good actually. I really like her in Robots in Disguise. And her relationship with Sideswipe, I thought it was really funny and sweet. And also, I like how you can store her weapon in her samurai thing. And an energon sword. And she's a flyer, she's a female. And she's a samurai-ish warrior. She's one of my favorite characters. I don't know, kind of like Sideways. No one likes Sideways, but I do. The biggest complaint I have with her is the legs. If you have Windblade, the lady legs, it's really annoying. And annoying, it's extremely annoying to set up the legs. Like, she keeps on falling. The legs just kind of complicate things. But still, that doesn't keep me away from liking this figure. Next we got the Dark of the Moon. But I got this during Dark of the Moon, and again he comes with the MechTech weapon. And I just like the MechTech weapon. You guys might not like it, but I think it's cool. I still have this figure. I was gonna get rid of it, but I saved it for some reason, which no regrets. I still think it's a pretty good figure. You can get some decent amount of poses with him. I don't really have much complaints with him, or than, you know, he's not that movie accurate, or his transformation is not that fun. His vehicle mode though, his vehicle mode, it's really annoying. Like, it's not very well put together. That's the only thing, that's the only complaint I have, that his vehicle mode's not the best. I feel like they could have done more with him. We're sticking with primes. We got the HV extension Optimus Prime. So yeah, he comes with a sword, a shield, and his vehicle mode is probably my favorite part. It just looks so good, so movie accurate. And his transformation, I know the Michael Bay designs are very complicated, but Hasbro has done an amazing job with these toys to do their best to replicate the movie versions. So no complaints with that. Also, the chrome, I grew to like the chrome. I think it adds more to the figure. And yes, as you can see, part of his sword's broken. I know. Okay, so this guy has a funny story. I bought him in Toys R Us, and when I came back, the sword was already broken. The leg was also misplaced. I had to glue it together, which I have some really powerful glue. Like, you can barely notice that it's broken. And the sword was broken in half. Yes, and there was hair in the box. I don't know what kind of monkey Hasbro hired to produce the toys, but Hasbro, really? First you hire an incompetent marketing team, and then you hire monkeys to take care of toy assembly? What's wrong with you? So yeah, besides the sword, no complaints. It's a pretty solid figure, one of my favorite figures. And yeah, I really didn't like the sword anyways to begin with. A jello sword. You could at least make that more movie accurate. But guess what I did? I basically bought a keychain replica of Optimus Prime's sword from the movie from China, and it got here in like 20 days, I want to say. And when it got here, I decided to, you know, try if the sword would fit on the leader class Optimus Prime's hands, and surprisingly it did. Here's the picture. Like, the sword is movie accurate. It goes pretty well with the chrome more than the yellow sword. After 2 years of not having a sword, my leader class Optimus Prime finally got that sword he deserved. Long awaited. It looks really good, and I don't know. You can also store the sword in his bag. And even the keychain sword fits in there pretty well. Honestly, I wasn't expecting the sword to fit, but I'm surprised that the sword fit, and it kind of fixed the toy, making it better. So surprisingly, I don't have a lot of Autobots. That's because I got rid of a lot of them growing up, and also at one point my Autobots outnumber my Decepticons 1,000 to 1, and now, ironically, my Decepticons kind of outnumber the Autobots, because I kind of wanted to have more bad guys, because, you know, Autobots versus Decepticons. It doesn't make sense if the good guys outnumber the Decepticons. Yeah, this is my entire Autobot collection. Hopefully, I will get more in the future. Also, if you guys want to see my Decepticon collection, hit me up with a like. And I'm gonna do part 2, which is gonna be the Decepticons, and part 3 is gonna be the Predacons, because I have a lot of Predacons. I have almost all the Predacon figures from the Peace Hunters line. So if you guys want to see that, make sure to hit me up with a like, and I'll see you guys later.